Skywest 5546, contact tower 120.905.
Tower to Skywest 5546.
JetBlue 63, suite is your discretion, the tower 120.905.
Push tower, JetBlue 63, good day.
United 331, contact question.
What about United 331?
That's 2922, runway 16 left, take care, sir.
16 left, 16 left, 2922.
United 278, Kilo Tower, runway 16 left, line up and wait, traffic will cross. Line up and wait, 258.
approach, Alaska 353, descending via.
Alaska 353, so approach, maintain 3000.
Maintain 3000, Alaska 353.
Alaska 72 on my south runway 16 left, contact ground traffic in position. Alaska 2961 on November south 16 left, contact ground traffic in position.
Jeffrey 63, monitor tower, 119.
United 280 on Papa Cross 16 left, and contact ground traffic in position. 5546 on Papa Cross, runway 16 left, and contact ground traffic in position.
Papa Cross 16 left, ground.
2923, contact structure.
Great day to 2922.
Seattle approach, 1960 level 87.
Connected to PilotEdge.
1964, so approach, maintain 5000.
1964.
Jeffrey 63 on Papa Cross, runway 16 center, hold short, runway 16 left.
Cross 16 center on Papa, hold short of 16 left.
United 278, runway 16 left, clear for takeoff.
Alaska 353, turning 060, speed 190.
Speed 190, heading 060, Alaska 353.
Eagle. Hello, my friend. How are things in the islands? 59,428.9. So we are loaded up, are loading up. Let's get the APU going. It's nice. No, I'm going good. I'm doing good today. I'm flying this. I flew it yesterday. I don't think you were around yesterday, but I tried playing it last night, and I just had issue after issue, but it was more of a, like, VATSIM was screwing with me, and I, oh, that goes a guy or he just landed over there, okay. So anyway, so I decided I'd fly this again, plus I want to try a cool RMP approach into Seattle. So we are flying into Seattle. And I'll brief the flight right before we push back. I can show you the RMP approach. APU gens available. We'll disconnect external. Remove the GPU. And we need to come over here. And we got an altimeter of 3035. And we'll plan on a 3-4 left departure. And that's with info Juliet, so we'll get an updated ATIS. Seattle is currently landing south. We're going to file the IFR. Portal, Battleground, Hawk 7, United 1399, 280, Portland's an alternate, going to Seattle, Slant Lima. File, done, done. Make sure we show up and all is good. So we're going there to there. File plan, whoops. It's not me. Is there another guy here? Yeah, there's 2 of us here. Cool. So that's me. That's filed. This dude is in an Epic. I mean, not an Epic, an Eclipse. He's on the other side of us. I have to take a look to see who he is. See if we can spy on him. Looks like he's up here. He's one of these planes, but I don't see an Eclipse 550. Is he back there? Yeah. I don't know where he's at. It's not. I don't see him on the ground. I'm online. Yeah. Oh well. All right. Flight plan is filed. Let's see if this has any coordinates. Did you get a chance, Eagle, to check out DCS and download the free version? Let me see what you wrote. In the FMC on the flight plan, when I choose the arrival, there are the runways, but there is 2 ILS VOR, and I don't know what is what. Yeah, there's going to be multiple approaches with different identifiers. Like, I'll show you. Let me do this real quick. Let's see if I can find. See if there's any coordinates for this gate. I'm at Alpha 1. Nope, no coordinates. Which airport were you trying to get information on? Which airport were you having trouble with the approaches? All right, when you know what airport you're talking about, let me know, and I'll see if we can figure it out together. All right, so we're going to come down here. We're going to go to init. We're going to do E, U, G, S, E, A, U, A, L. Actually, let's do that again. E, U, G, S, E, A, insert, U, A, L, 1399, 150, 28, 2, 8, line, I'll leave it there. And I don't know, okay, because I travel through Europe and I don't know what ILS and VOR means. That's the thing. Oh, you don't know what the difference between an ILS approach and a VOR approach is. Okay, so the main difference between an ILS approach compared to any other approach, whether it be a VOR or an RNAV, an ILS is a precision approach. In some cases, you can have an ILS Cat 3 approach, which I think it was you, maybe it was someone else, that was telling me that they've been using Autoland on a Cat 3 only. And so there's many differences. When you take the P4 certification on VATSTAR, they're going to cover all these approaches that you're talking about, the VOR, the RNAV, the ILS, the visual. They will cover all those aspects in the P4 lesson plan, and then you'll have the instructor to help you. But let me see if I can find, I don't know if, see if Eugene, all right, here's a VOR, A and VOR, TCAN, and then we have ILS 6 right, and then we got ILS 6 right 3, and then we have ILS 6 right 1. So let me cover the ILSs first to the best of my ability. I am not an expert by any means. So this is a standard ILS, which means you don't need special equipment or training. I mean, other than normal stuff. The Cat 3, you'll notice Category 2 and 3 ILS, special air crew and aircraft certification required. So it's a difference between a regular one, which doesn't have that, whereas the ILS Cat 1, 2, and 3 all require certifications for the aircraft to be able to fly these approaches. Whereas a regular ILS, anyone can do. And you'll see like the minimums is 200 radar on this one, but the Cat 3 is it's all the way down for Cat 3 RVR to 600 feet. And then the Cat 1 goes all the way down to 150 radar decision. So the higher the Cat levels, the lower it can get you, and the Cat 3 can go all the way to autoland. So those are just different types of ILSs, and the Cat 2 has more lighting on the runway, so it gives you more visual cues as to the type of lighting, like where's the lighting? Here it is. It's got ALFS2 or something, which it's going to be the same on that. But let me see this other left. See how the lighting for this ILS has more lighting than a normal one on the left side. So you have more lights for a Cat 1 and Cat 2, and then Cat 3 is autoland. So those are ILSs, which most people start with. And then you have VOR approaches, and you have RNAV approach. So a VOR is using a VOR with or without a DME. A DME is your distance. So this one uses the VOR. So you would dial in the VOR code similar to that of a oh, that's RNAV. Similar to that of a an ILS. If I can get it to stay there. So you have your ILS frequency 11175, and all VORs have radio frequencies to them. So you would punch that in, you would set your course for 173, and then, but it's not an approach to where it will get you very, very low. Like the minimums for this is 900 feet above ground, or 1200 MSL, which is what your altimeter your altimeter would be saying. So, and you basically come down to 2,700 feet, and then you can go all the way down to 1,200 feet, and that just means you have to see the runway. But there is no glide slope, there's no glide path or anything with VOR approaches. Everything is just done manually. But these are because ILSs cost a ton of money to set up, so these are much cheaper approaches for real world airports to use. And then this one has a DME arc, so you would need a VOR plus a TCAN and DME to fly this. And this is a little bit more complicated, so I'm not going to try to explain that because it's a little bit beyond my pay grade. Like, I wouldn't even fly this if I had an ILS available. Like, why? I mean, unless you just want to practice. But so VOR are approaches that use VORs. ILSs are precision approaches that use ILS systems. VORs are all over the dang place. Like you'll see all these. That's a click-tat VOR. That's a VOR. All these things. Here is a VOR. That's a VOR. Seattle has a VOR. This is Battleground VOR. So they're just using the VORs with radials. Radials are what make up airways. And airways are made up between VORs. So you go VOR to VOR, and they're basically shooting radials, which are course headings between the VORs, which gives your Victor Airways for slant alpha flying below 18,000 feet. And then RNAV are, if it has LPV written here, that means it will give you a glide path. So it's similar to an ILS, but they don't call them precision approaches. But you can use an LPV approach all the way down to minimums, which would be 200. But you can get much lower using an ILS than a RNAV approach. Not RNAV approaches will have an LPV. If you use the LPV, you can take it down to 564 MSL or 200 radar. If you don't use the LPV and you go manual, then it's LNAV MDA is 720 400. So there's a 200 foot difference between LPV and LNAV. So the final approach fix is where you would capture the glide path, which is basically a artificial glide slope to an ILS. It acts like an ILS, but it's not an ILS. As long as it has LPV, it will have an ILS feature to it. It will look like an ILS, but it won't actually start working 100% until you get to the final approach fix, which is the FAF. So at Wattle, you would want to be at 2,000 feet. And at Wattle, the LPV, the glide path, will take you down as if it's an ILS all the way down to minimums, which would be 200 radar right about here, 1 nautical mile to runway 16 right, and that's your decision altitude. So at 200 radar, if you see any part of the runway or any of the lights surrounding the runway or anything to identify the airport, then you can continue to land. At 200 radar, if you don't see, if you're still in the clouds, then at that point you have to fly the missed approach procedure. You climb the 5,000 feet direct to Tippy and track 229 to Vaughan and hold, continue in hold to 5,000. So that's what these are for, is to bring you down out of the clouds and hopefully you see the runway. If you see it, you continue to land. If you don't see it, you do the missed approach procedure, which is always on the chart. So that's the bare bones of the difference between VOR, RNAV, and ILS approaches. ILS being the best for precision. And ILS Cat 3 will take you all the way down, auto land feature. So I know it gets very, very, there's a lot of information I just gave out. I just try to give the basics on that. I'm no expert by any means, so hopefully that will help you out a little bit with understanding the process. No problem, bud. Glad it made some sense. All right, 35. And then you check, we're showing 400, 400. And the altitude for Eugene is, you always check it with the charts, 373. So as long as I'm within 75 feet of the actual elevation, then you're good. You have to be within 75 to be within limits. ATIS is 125.22.
Eugene Maclone Fleet Field, ATIS Information Juliet, 1754 Zulu, wind 360 at 15, visibility 10, few clouds at 2,500 to 5,000 scattered, temperature 7, dew point 2, altimeter 3035, arriving and departing runways 34 left, 34 right, visual approaches in use, simultaneous approaches to parallel runways in use. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact that you have information, Juliet.
How you been, Gizmo? I haven't seen you in a few days. You been all right? All right, we're going to go to ground control, and tower is 18.9er. So get that ready. GPS primary. Eugene ground, United 1399 at the terminal with Juliet, IFR Seattle.
United 1399, Eugene grounds, cleared to Seattle Airport. Eugene 1 departure, radar vectors portal, and then as filed. Climb and maintain 900,000, expect flight level 280 within 10 minutes of departure. Squawk 2513.
Cleared the Seattle via Eugene 1 departure, radar vectors portal, then as filed. Climb maintain 900,000. Expect 280 within 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 2513, United 1399.
United 1399, read back correct. We're 6 Delta Charlie, you turn left heading 170.
Fine, and you? I'm doing good, my friend. Where did you get your DCS? I'll download it now. All right, let me get a link for you. Okay. All right, there's the link, Eagle. That's where you download the DCS stable version. That's obviously not the beta. The beta is so buggy right now that I would not bother with the beta.
Maintain 3,000 until established on the low
but that stable will work fine. Alright, so we're going to do flight plan. And I'm going to clear the, because I think I'm doing the Hawk 7 from battleground. So let's clear out the battleground. And then we'll do departure 34 left Eugene 1 Seattle. I'm doing RMP 16 center. Zulu, Hawk 7, battleground, clear out the disco, and the Ashen Rayo, yep, that's correct. Wind in it 2. Come up here, turn off the fuel. And what was the weight? It was 59.4. 28.9. And that was 5.4. And perf 870. MDA. So the MDA is that minimum on the RNAV. So I'm doing an RNAV approach into Seattle. So I'm looking for approach, RNAV 16 center. I don't want ILS, I want RNAV. So if they do all ILSs first, 16 center, I want Zulu. So there's differences. They have identifiers. RMP, the airplane has to be equipped for RMP, which this airplane is. So we're going to do RMP Zulu. So when I ask for the approach from Seattle approach, I will request RNAV Zulu 16 center. You have to add the identifier when you request the approach. And then the MDA is 758. So that uses the altimeter, which is 328 radar altitude. But you put the MDA, so that goes there. 930, 930. Boom. Boom. DCS, let's come here. EUG, grab our weather. 7, altimeters 3036. Takeoff weight is 142,903. And then you need the Tora, which is your takeoff distance available. So we're going to use 34 left. Come down here to 34 left, copy the Tora. Runway heading is 344. We get our flex temperature, V speeds 143. 144 for V2 and flex 65. So 143, 143, 144. And 65. Turn on our fuel pumps. We're good to 9,000. And you may have noticed when I got my clearance and delivery, he didn't give us a departure frequency. Does anybody know why he didn't? I'll explain if no one knows. Figured get some community involvement. All right, so fuel pumps are on, autopilot's set up. Can remove the fuel truck, remove the other guys. I don't know. I know. It's the one departure plate. Sorry to spoil it. No, that's good.
November
I don't know.
420 Tango Whiskey.
That's why I'll
approach. Are you airborne or on the ground?
Figured do a mini test. Good job, Ginnigan. All right, so to brief the flight, I'll explain what Ginnigan's just said. So departure, clearance said we're going to fly the UG1, radar vectors to portal, climb maintain 9,000, expect 280 within 10 minutes after, and then he gave us no departure frequency, and then he gave us her code, our squawk code. But he did give us the Eugene 1. So what's on the Eugene 1? A departure, cascade departure with a frequency. So this departure has a published departure frequency. So if they don't give you a departure frequency, then you go off the published.
You won't want to use the
so 119.6 is cascade departure. So that's the frequency that we'll use. And then you got to read the notes. Radar required, aircraft taxiing, whatever. That doesn't
usually you want to file airways rather than every single waypoint.
We're going to take off 344.
As I can clean up your flight plan for you.
For vectors to assign route, which is portal, maintain 9,000, which he did give us the altitude 9,000. Expect filed altitude within 5 minutes. And then lost communications, you would do that if you lost communications. So you pretty much ignore that for PilotEdge purposes. And then, so we're just going to fly straight out, 344, and then we're going to get radar vectors to portal. And then here's portal. So we're going to take off straight out. He's going to give me a heading, and then he'll probably say clear direct to portal. And then after portal, we'll go to battleground, where we'll pick up the Hawk 7 arrival from battleground, which you'll see these are transitions, but you don't have to use a transition. You can use the star starts at battleground, and these are transitions. Well, actually battleground is a transition. It starts at Hawks. So you have many transitions on this star, battleground being one of them. So we're going to start the arrival at battleground, and we got to be above 240, and then we're going to be above 220 at Petra, whatever, and then we'll be at Hawks. We have to pass Hawks at 270 knots, above 12,000 feet.
You might want to note, however,
and then we're going to continue.
The ground was given as 122.
And then you got to know by the time you get the line which runways are in use. So
it's going to be universal PilotEdge wide if you're on the ground. It'll
landing
take away the static.
runways 16 left, center, right.
And limited
you're going to want, oh my God,
reception in those areas. 122.
Okay, I just remember to turn that back on. So as we're coming down, we'll know by here the transition. So he's going to say descend via the Hawk 7 arrival south transition, which means you want to make sure you're loading in these waypoints to Vashon. So you just pick the transition. If it was landing north, then the transition would be the Sonder transition. So we're going to take it all the way down to Vashon, and after Vashon we're going to pick up the R&P approach. That's just a notice. So you'll notice the last waypoint of the star is the first waypoint of the approach that I want to use. So that way there's no vectoring for an ILS. It would just be fly the approach. So we'll end off at Vashon, and then we'll pick up the R&P at Vashon to continue the approach into Seattle 16 Center. And then we'll exit neither November or Papa, and we'll taxi to the south ramp. So the other option, let's say the weather gets really, really, really bad, so you could go to like a Cat 3 16 centers. You could always back it up with an ILS, but this would be vectored. So at the end of Vashon, you would fly heading 344 until you're vectored to intercept the ILS 16 center localizer inbound. So if you don't have an R&P approach, and if you want to do an ILS, then you just fly this last heading 344. He's going to give me a radar vector to intercept the localizer at no more than 45-degree entry, and then he will say maintain 4,000 or 3,000 or whatever until established on the localizer, cleared ILS 16 center approach. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to be vectored. And if the weather cooperates, I won't have to be vectored. I'm going to do an R&P, which no vectoring. You just fly the approach and then you land. So that's why I like R&Ps, because there's no vectoring. You learn that quick on PE? Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. All right, brake hydraulics low. So we're gonna turn on the yellow pump. Turn that back off. Check VADIC here. Check the engine displays. Started the DCS download. Nice. Yeah, I think you really will enjoy that that P51 that you get to fly. It's very well done. The flight model on that P51 Mustang is just awesome. Do you have VR, Eagle? Do you fly VR at all? I think Ginnigan's does for. I can't actually. No, I don't want to say that. Do you have VR, Ginnigan's?
Yes, Captain. We are waiting for your instruction. Ground to flight deck. All holds and hatches are closed. Walk round complete.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Oh, you don't have VR? Eagle has VR for PS4, but not for PC. I don't think VR for a console will be strong enough to handle PC. I think there are strictly PC VR headsets, and then there's different headsets for consoles. At least that's my belief on it. I'm not 100% sure on that. Fuel's 5.2, so we'll update our fuel.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Looks like this guy is fixing to push back. He's going to Phoenix. American.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
There he goes. Maybe someday, but I'm good without it. Yeah, once, like, I don't use it except for DCS and like one airplane and X-plane. So, in my opinion, you're not really missing out on a whole lot, but it really, truly does, and I say this with full certainty, it will trick your brain into thinking you are actually in the freaking cockpit. Even though you know you're not, you will, like, get motion sickness until you get used to it. So I would always recommend trying someone's VR before you spend, you know, almost $1,000 on a new VR headset, because some people do get motion sickness from it. But for added realism, VR is definitely the way to go. I just get sweaty in it because it's hot and it's heavy on my neck. So, like, I pretty much just stick to DCS for the most part with it. And plus, when I'm flying X-plane with ATC, I need all my computers for charts and stuff like that. My internet is so slow right now because of the download. Oh yeah. Yep.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
Matches. I heard Black Box. Maybe you've heard this again through your streaming. I heard Black Box say earlier today that the tallest A321, the latest Airbus they released, is broken in some way. I only listened in for like a couple seconds, but he had said he wasn't flying the tallest today because there's something wrong with it or it needs an update or something. I didn't buy it because I don't want it. They're like pretty much identical, except the tallest has the fixed page where this one doesn't. But I'm curious what's wrong with it, if there is anything wrong with it. $28.30. $25.13.
Wind 350 at 16. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 3,000 to 5,000 scattered. Temperature 8. Dew point 2. Altimeter 3033. Arriving and departing runways 34 left, 34 right. Visual approaches in use. Simultaneous approaches to parallel runways in use. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Kilo. Eugene Mach Lone Sweepy.
Alright, we got Kilo. Eugene ground, United 1399, north side of the terminal with Kilo, ready to taxi. He has flown a rear air.
Eugene ground, runway 34 left, taxi via Golf Alpha.
34 left via Golf Alpha, United 1399. He has flown a real Airbus. He is pretty picky. I see a lot of people flying the Tolas, including him until now. I'm not sure what it could be. Yeah, see, that's what I was, like, everybody's been praising that it's just an awesome simulated aircraft. And the only reason I don't buy it is because aesthetically, it's exactly the same thing as this plane. Like, it looks the same. So I don't want to spend another, $80 on essentially the same aircraft. And whereas the only real difference is the tallest version includes the fixed page, where Flight Factor, for whatever reason, can't figure the fixed page out or holds. But that's okay. I'm not going to spend another $80. And this one is updated pretty often, so eventually they'll add in those items.
Delta 20, correction, United 2356, descend via the Diamond 5 arrival report, leaving flight level 360.
Hopefully those lights don't pop tires. See, this right here is the benefit of Traffic Global when it's working off the correct runways. Makes the airport a little bit more alive. Plus the sound effects of it, which is cool. Whoa, almost passed the entrance. Alright. Clear that. And do auto brake max, takeoff config test. So, max, takeoff config test.
420 Tango Whiskey, NorCal
Systems.
departure, release for departure. Now clearance is void if not off by 1920 Zulu, time now 1913. If not off by 1920, call back with your intentions. Delay to 1925. Frequency changes
Tower,
approved.
departure on standby, 19.6, which is Cascade departure, and we will be flying the Eugene 1. So 18.9 is tower, no wait, is it? Yeah, 18.9. Auto brake signs, spoilers, flaps, takeoff config packs. We'll do that here in a second. Eugene Tower, United 1399, holding short, 3-4 left.
United 1399 Eugene Tower, runway 34 left, cleared for takeoff, wind 360 at 16.
3-4 left, clear for takeoff, United 1399. Alright, packs off, give you some extra power on the takeoff because it uses the air pressure instead of using the air pressure in the packs to provide environments such as air conditioning, heating. It temporarily turns it off to turn off those packs to use that air pressure to provide more power to the engines. That's why if you're in an airliner and you all of a sudden your air conditioning turns off right before takeoff and or landing, that's why they're transferring that air pressure to the engines instead. Just for takeoff though.
On runway 34 left.
So you're gonna do 50%. We're gonna fly a runway heading 344, so takeoff power is set, airspeed's alive. 80 knots. V1 rotate. Positive rate, gear coming up. Climb thrust. Heading.
United 1399, contact Cascade departure.
Over to departure, United 1399, see ya. We go to Cascade. Cascade departure, United 1399, 2,300 for 9,000.
United 1399, Cascade departure, radar contact, clear direct portal. Resume on navigation, climb and maintain 1000.
Clear direct to portal, resume on navigation, climb maintain 1000, United 1399.
NorCal, Cessna 420 Tango Whiskey at 2000.
420 Tango Whiskey, NorCal departure, climb and maintain 4000, ident.
Climb and maintain 4000, identing.
Zero Tango Whiskey, radar contact 3 miles east of San Carlos Airport, and altitude checks at 2000, now San Jose, altimeter 2989er.
2989er, Zero Tango Whiskey.
Turn off the radar. Turn on the
Zero Tango Whiskey, are you flying the runway 12 departure procedure?
weather radar.
Negative, Zero Tango Whiskey.
Check cat pressure.
Zero Tango Whiskey, are you familiar with runway departure procedures?
Not as familiar as I should be, Zero Tango Whiskey.
Roger, and just when weather's low, it provides you obstacle clearance. If you're departing, you're still, and not flying one, you're responsible for your own separation from terrain and obstacles. If you're flying in clouds, it's really hard to do that. That's why the runway departure procedures are available for you.
SIDS and or ODPs is what you
Awesome,
need
thank
for
you. Yeah,
obstacle departures.
So just started my instrument training, so yeah, learning all.
Hey, you come to the right place to learn, buddy. Not a better network than this one to learn. You know what I learned the other day? That Victor Airways are usually flown underneath 18,000 feet, but you can use them in IFR flight plans just for RNAV capabilities, for RNAV waypoints. So you can still fly Victor or file Victor Airways, but only in the absence of a good jetway.
Climb and maintain 13,000, contact Seattle Center 12, let's go 135.15.
I maintain 13,000, Seattle Center 135.15, United 1399. 35.15. Seattle Center, United 1399, 1,100 for 13,000.
United 1399, Seattle Center, climb and maintain flight level 280.
I maintain flight level 280, United 1399. Alright. But yeah, there's like, when you're in IMC conditions, which is clouds, if you can't see, then you need an ODP or a SID to depart an airport. If you want to file an IFR flight plan because you want to fly above 18,000 feet, and if it's VFR conditions, then you know the best course of action under those circumstances is to take off VFR, pick up your IFR in the air so you don't put an IFR hold on the actual airport you're departing. But if it's IMC like this, then you would want to depart whether it be a SID or an ODP. And I've done multiple videos on ODPs, and I always cover ODPs, especially when I fly out of Mathers Field into Half Moon Bay. Because they're both, not only do they have ODPs, but they have tech routes too, so I kind of cover that lesson plan for You can go to my YouTube and do a search for Half Moon Bay. And
Tango Whiskey advised with the weather.
you should be able to find
Livermore,
my
say requested
instructions on ODPs. If anyone wants me to cover them, I'll cover them now too. I don't care. We're coming up on transition altitude of flight level 180. Which is also a nice thing in the US to have a standard transition altitude, because that gets confusing overseas. I need to figure out my next around the world tour flight.
6 Delta Charlie, Payne clearance, clear to the Arlington Airport. Payne 6 departure, expect radar vectors Savoy, direct. Climb and maintain 2,000, expect 3,000 within 5 minutes of departure. Departure frequency 120.4, squawk 20, correction squawk 3473. Skyline 6 Delta Charlie, read back correct. November 906 Delta Charlie, got Payne ground, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha. United 2356, contact NorCal approach 120.905.
120.905, United 2356.
At 2356 NorCal approach, afternoon, thanks for Romeo, and expect the ILS runway 28 left approach at Archie.
Yeah, another thing with that DCS Eagle, you'll find that the map that comes with it, the stock map, is actually really well done. How's that download coming? See if we can grab D8 while we're at it here. To Seattle. Currently they are with Quebec.
United 1399, Seattle landing south, descend via the Hawk 7 arrival.
Descend via the Hawk 7 arrival, landing south, United 1399. So that's that transition I was talking about. So it's a south transition that we'll use for the Hawk 7. And those, like I said, the transitions are dependent upon the operations of the airport. So if Seattle was landing north, we would go this way. But because Seattle's landing south, we have to use the south transition, which will end up here. And then I want to grab the RMP approach. So landing south, currently with Quebec, the altimeter is, where is it? 3036. Vision approach is in use, or ILS or whatever, but we can request any approach we want. So I'll have to check that in a little bit. I saw you on your live stream still in the beginning. Yeah, no, that map that I was flying on with the Mustang is not the stock map. That was the Normandy map, which is a payware map. So, you know, it's different than X-Plane in that fact that X-Plane has the entire world. But if I want to have ortho scenery for X-Planes where it looks the most realistic, you have to either buy it or download it, or make it your own, but in any case you have to download ortho scenery. But on DCS they don't simulate the entire planet. They only have maps. Like I have the Persian Gulf map, I have the Nevada map, which is, you know, training for the military near Vegas. I got the stock map obviously, and then the Normandy, Persian Gulf, and the Nevada map. But the primary maps that I fly on is Normandy, the stock map, and Persian Gulf. Persian Gulf we use for the modern airplanes like the Hornet and the Viper, and then we use Normandy for the World War II stuff. So like my World War II stuff, I bought not only the Normandy map, I had to buy the P51D Mustang, which has the guns and all that stuff. And then I had to buy the World War II assets pack, which is a requirement if you want to run campaigns. Like I'm running that campaign right now. So they're very good at nickel and diming you to death, but really, who isn't these days? Alright, so he told us we can descend via the Hawk 7, but I'm not ready to descend yet, so we're not.
Number 0 Tango Whiskey, Livermore Airport is 12 to 11 o'clock and 7 miles.
I think we'll be coming over Portland here.
Alright, affirmative doesn't mean anything in that scenario. I need to know that you have the airport in sight. November 0 Tango Whiskey, no traffic observed between you and Livermore Airport. Cleared visual approach. Report cancellation of IFR on this frequency while you're in the air, or you can cancel on the ground within 5 minutes of landing on 122.2. Radar service is terminated. Frequency change is approved.
It's
Number 0 Tango Whiskey, thank you. IFR cancellation is received. Squawk and maintain VFR for exchange period.
do want to get the weather.
United 1399, contact Seattle Center 126.6.
Seattle Center 126.6, Unit 1399.
Number 6 Delta Charlie, Payne Tower, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff. Delta 212, contact Albuquerque Center 128.45.
128.45, Delta 212.
Seattle Center, United 1399, 280.
United 1399, Seattle Center, roger, should be descending via Hawk 7 arrival, landing south, Seattle altimeter 3036.
We'll be descending Hawk 7, landing south, 3036, United 1399.
Albuquerque Center, Delta 212 with
So
you.
we got winds
level
are
290.
0.
Delta 212,
Temperature
Albuquerque Center, roger. You should
is
also be
8
descending
Celsius.
Via Bruiser 1 arrival, Phoenix altimeter 2985, 7 right
And
transition.
the altimeter was 3036.
Descending Bruiser 1
Is that
arrival,
Portland?
07 right. Delta 212.
Not sure where Portland is now. You need to go, be back later. Alright, bud. Gizmo says P-51 is the easy World War II warbird, and DCS is the easiest World War II bird. Yeah, I've heard that. I have the Spitfire, but I don't like it. Just because it is kind of a bear, but the easiest DCS module, in my opinion, is the Hornet. That thing flies like it's on rails. It's just super easy.
Contact 906 Delta Charlie, Seattle departure radar contact.
36.
Climb and maintain 3000. Advise with the weather, stay request.
Temperature 8. Wind 360 at 0.
Vectors or the approach from Savoy?
And in case we were going to go north, it would be 3, 4.
Roger.
Center from Sonder. Update our winds. Should have updated the winds first. Maybe this is Portland. I don't see it. You mean the World War II ones? Oh, out of the World War II. Yes, I do agree. But I've only flown the Spitfire once, and I didn't really like it. So the P-51 is it has the supercharger and all that, so it just has a lot more power at the high altitudes. And I bought the campaign for the P-51, or one of them. So I'm like messing around with the campaign, and I like flying that in VR.
Turn left heading 020 vector Savoy.
Alright, so this arrival allows us to go down all the way down to 6,000 feet. So we'll be descending via the Hawk 7. And once we leave 280, I will let you know. It's loading in Seattle's ortho right now. whenever it loads in scenery on that sim, XPilot sometimes, like 50% of the time, crashes my sim. That's why I haven't really been flying a lot on VATSIM lately, because if it dips below 20, then I just get like a crash and it irritates me. Seattle Center, United 1399, leaving 280.
Roger.
Alright.
Number 6 Delta Charlie, when able, cleared direct to Savoy. Cross Savoy at 3000, cleared the localizer, runway 34, approach Arlington. United 2356.
Mount Rainier, I believe that is. Or maybe it's that one. One of these is Mount Rainier.
United 2356, San Francisco Tower, wind, variable at 3, runway 28 left, clear to land.
It's good to have a backup plan on the approach. So, say ILS 16 center. Is 1117, so that should match. 164, that's correct.
Number 6 Delta Charlie, confirm your direct Savoy, you appear to be off course. Thank you. United 1399, contact Seattle, approach 125.6.
Seattle approach 125.6, United 1399. Current with Quebec, so that's still the same, nothing's changed. So you gotta say that the trans as well. Seattle approach, United 1399, descended via the Hawk 7, arrival, south transition, leaving Level 1904, current with Quebec. Request the Arnav Zulu 16 center from Vashon.
Yeah, 1399, Seattle approach, Roger, thanks, and expect that.
And I can expect that, United 1399. Now, just because he says I can expect it, that doesn't mean I'm clear to fly it. Anything can happen between now and then. But my request is out there, so that means no vectoring. I just will do a U-turn and fly the RMP. Now I'm into the HD version. I have HD Washington from Orbix. I have Orbix Washington, Oregon, and now North California. I can't wait for them to come out with Southern California. The first thing I'm going to do is delete the, I have the entire state of California ortho right now. And so I'm looking forward to being able to just delete the entire state and then replace it with Orbix, but put it on SSD, because right now I have the North California on an HHD, and that's just very slow load time.
Yeah, 2356 left at Echo if you're able, into the ramp on Alpha. You can stay on this frequency. Have a great day. Number 6 Delta Charlie, no traffic observed between you and the Arlington Airport. Report cancellation of IFR or missed approach while you're in the air on this frequency. You can cancel on the ground within 5 minutes of landing on 122.2. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved for 906 Delta Charlie. I'll cancel on the ground. Thanks for your help.
So the lowest we are allowed to go until we're cleared the approach. Gosh. Stupid mouse. 6,000. And then we'll take it down to the final approach fix, which is Sodi at 1900.
Looks
like we should break out at about 3,000, about 4,000 feet. We should break out of these clouds.
Phoenix approach, Delta 212 with you, descending 1400 via Bruiser 1 arrival for runway 7, right.
Delta 212 Phoenix approach, you're under advisory of the ATIS, altimeter 2985, expect ILS.
I'll be streaming again tonight. Boston's doing a crossfire between Boston and Nantucket. So I'm going to do a little United Express trip from Boston to Nantucket. I have payware scenery for Nantucket and all the islands.
Approach Delta 212.
And it would be a night. It would be a night
Delta
flight,
212,
but it'd be nice. Pretty much only do long distance flights on VATSIM using this aircraft, because this aircraft updates the status every 5 minutes. So if XPilot crashes my sim like it likes to do, I can always just reload into the closest airport to where it disconnected, and then reload the autosave state. So you would just click autosave and then load, then that will put me right back in the air where I had fell off. But I was flying the other night from Boston to New York City in the King Air, and right before my top of descent, it was loading in all my New York City scenery. So naturally my frames dropped below 20 for a couple seconds, and like always it freezes it up. I think I'll fly the Beach 1900D tonight.
120.4, Delta 212. Please approach Delta 212 with you, descending 8,000 via Cruiser 1 arrival with information November.
Delta 212 Phoenix approach, Roger, cleared ILS, runway 7, right approach.
Runway 7 approach, Delta 212.
Negative. Delta 212 cleared the ILS, runway 7 right approach.
ILS, runway 7 right approach, Delta 212.
United 1399, contact Seattle, Seattle approach now 133.65.
Seattle approach 133.65, United 1399.
Number 608, Juliet, Reading ground, standby.
Seattle approach, United 1399, Hawk 7, 8,500.
United 1399, Phoenix approach, Roger. At Vishon, clear the RNAV Zulu runway 16 center, approach Seattle altimeter 3036.
At Vishon, clear the RNAV Zulu 16 center, approach 3036, United 1399. Alright, so that means we can take it down to the final approach fix, which is 1900. Go to flaps 1.
Paris 698 Juliet, Reading ground is cleared to the Dalles Airport. Kendall for departure to the Red Bluff VOR, and then as filed. Climb and maintain 10,000. Departure with Oakland Center 132.2, squawk 7332.
$1,900 at SOD. get
Julie, are you back
centers.
correct?
19.9er. Getting that ready. 19.9.
Number 6 Delta Charlie with Seattle departure, thanks. IFR cancellation is received. We'll see you soon. Right, it's simulating a phone calls to the overlying facility, and Arlington still sits under the Seattle TRACON. Of course.
Approach is armed because we got VDEV armed. So we're going to go to flaps 2, which will give us some more drag, help us on the quick descent here. So now we should be descending. Yep. So we're going to go to flaps 3, gear down. That's for the gear. Just follow this VDEV all the way down the final approach fix, and we'll take it down further to minimums.
120.9, we'll see ya.
Minimums is 400 radar. So we need to see the runway by 400 radar, but we'll have no problem with that. It's good old Seattle.
Delta 212 Phoenix Tower, confirm you're 7, right? You missed Balti. Where are you headed now? Delta 212, cancel your approach clearance. You're obviously not set up quite right. Fly runway heading. Correction, tell you what, fly heading 080 and climb and maintain 7,000. Delta 212, do you have the chart for the ILS runway 7 right handy? Is Woods up on there? Delta 212 fighting 080, climb and maintain 7,000.
That was a screenshot. Alright, missed approach.
Delta 212, contact Phoenix approach 120.4.
Then 5,000, so we're reset for 5,000.
United 1399, contact Seattle Tower 119.9er.
Seattle Tower 119.9er, yeah, 1399.
2,500.
Seattle Tower, United 1399, RNAV 16 center.
United 1399, Seattle Tower, wind call, runway 16 center, cleared to land.
16 center, clear to land, United 1399.
Delta 212, Phoenix approach, roger, Phoenix altimeter 2980, expect vectors visual approach, runway 7 right. Delta 212, turn right, heading 210, vectors for the approach.
Approaching 16 center.
Autopilot off, my plane.
Hundred above. Minimum 400. 300, 200, 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard 20, 10, 5.
Delta 212, turn right, heading 260, descend and maintain 5,000. United 1399 on November, cross runway 16 left into the ramp via Bravo, this frequency. Have a good day.
Cross 16 left at November, and then Bravo to the ramp with you, United 1399, thanks, see ya. Clear left.
Approaching 34 right.
We'll have that carousel number for you once the front boarding door is opened. If you haven't received right heading 350, reduce speed to 210. Delta 212, yep.
Disconnected.
Alpha cop, go up. Go up where, bud? Go up where? Go up to what? I'm not sure what you want me to do. Within the plane. You mean fly the plane? Like, I literally just landed. I've been flying the plane for 2 hours. I literally just landed, my friend. I just landed, just parked. I'll do a replay of the landing though. Watch this guy take off. Wonder if he's ever gonna take off. He's gonna wait till after the runway, I guess. He's gonna take off into. Gotta love AI. But yeah, I'll do a replay here. Wow, these frames are killing me. I think it's a little better. It's like a slideshow. I think my sounds are back up. Yeah, sounds are up. Traffic global is full. I should have probably turned those off. That would have made the replay better. But this is the very heavy scenery. You can even go inside the terminal and look out. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Chase out.
A363 on Papa Crest, runway 160 left, no contact ground. United 278 contact, question.